Hi, this is Dr. Nick. I'm the Incrementalist here with Incremental sites for a better business and better health. So today I wanted to talk about misinformation and some of the challenges with teasing out the reality from fiction. One of the first things that's worth mentioning is this whole antibody testing. I think there's lots of variations in terms of what works and what doesn't. Let's be clear about this. We do not know what the status is for antibody testing. And by antibody testing, I'm talking about picking up whether you've had the disease or not. So that's a blood test. We look for indications that you've had coronavirus or COVID-19. And if we find those markers in there, then you potentially have immunity. But here's the problem. First of all, the tests widely varied in terms of accuracy. But importantly, okay, so we find them. What does that mean? And everybody's going, well, I've had the virus and therefore I should be immune. But that's not true. It may be, but we just don't know. And I'm sure people are going, well, that's just doesn't make sense. Think about HIV as a perfect example of something and a disease that we went through a similar kind of challenge, killed millions of people, and we had a much slower process to understanding it. But we could find antibodies to the HIV virus in the bloodstream. But just because you had the antibodies didn't mean you were resistant. In fact, it was almost the complete opposite. So as an example, HIV demonstrates why this whole antibody testing and immunity passports is just not viable right now until we know more about the epidemiology of the disease. So, myth busted. If we want to talk about myths, let's talk about 5G cell towers. I just don't get this. What is going on with people thinking that a 5G tower would be transmitting a virus? It goes against all of the science that we know about for viruses. They're physical things. They're made up of DNA, the capsid, approach you as a result of that. There can be no circumstance. Yet apparently people are burning these towers down in some countries. So myth busted, not the case, absolutely not. And then let's just finally talk about heat. Is heat going to diminish this? So we're getting into the summer, it's great, it's sunny out. Does that mean that, good news, we can stop worrying about it? So being outdoors, absolutely, that helps. The fact that I'm outside, very low risk, and that's partly because of dissipation. But from a temperature standpoint, think about this logically. If heat was a problem for the virus and it would diminish the actual outcome for the virus, we would see no virus in hot countries. We'd see no virus in Arizona. That's not what we're seeing currently. So heat is not going to change things. Now, there is some possibility that humidity has an impact, and increased humidity may have some potential to diminish the impact of the disease. But again, like the antibody testing, we don't know, we're not sure. We're really working hard. And I think one of the most challenging things for people to accept in this pandemic is the information is changing. The one thing I would ask is people focus on the source of that information, look to make sure that it's relevant and valid, and validate it. And before you spread it or share pieces of information that have questionable sources, think twice. This is a developing circumstance. We all want to get back to some level of openness and economic viability, but that requires everybody to play their part. Wear a mask, follow the instructions, physical distancing, and wash your hands. Those are the three things we know work effectively. They worked in 1918, they work now. This is Dr. Nick. I'm the Incrementalist, here with incremental sites for a better business, and healthier life.